That was the Time Benders, and they play some nice original music, and they do have a CD available, and you can find out more about that by going to their website or coming to my website and finding out more about it. Right next to me, I have Kim Bellizzi. She's been on the show before, but in a different capacity. And now we're talking about how to protect your dog in your backyard. We just heard from the last guest how they don't let their dogs go running free, and Kim is going to talk about how are some ways that you can protect your dogs. And I know that you're involved with invisible fences, which kind of makes your house look open.
Yes, yes, it's an alternative to having a physical fence up. There's many situations where it might be cost prohibitive if you have a lot of acreage, or townhouse communities where it's not allowed.
Oh, that's right. Yes. I never thought about that.
Yes. So it's an alternative form of fencing, so your dog can be outside and still be protected.
How do they know?
It's a very interesting process. The invisible fence concept has been around for 40 years, and the training is it's key for the success of the invisible fence. But it's a 4-step process. You probably have driven by homes where you see, the flags.
Little flags,
yes.
The little flags along.
Yes, and your yard is staked out.
I think they're having a party.
Yes. Well, the dogs are, because they're able to run free now.
Yeah.
But the flags are a visual cue. There's receivers now, and the receivers have come a long way. There's a tone only, and it will have a beeping sound. We are trained, extensive training goes into the people who actually do the install and training process for it, but we'll put the dog on lead and bring them up to the flag. The flag signifies their boundary. And at that point, they'll hear a beep.
Those flags eventually go away, right?
They do. And what happens is when they go up to the flag, they approach it, they'll hear a beep, and then they will get a static correction. And it's a slight one. They have very, very low levels now, so they're just enough to get their attention.
Yeah.
And that happens for the first week, and the owners really have to practice for a full week with different spots in the yard. But only twice in the morning, twice at night. And within about 2 to 3 days, they put together that, okay, there's a flag, I hear a tone, I have a feeling that tells me that maybe I shouldn't go any further.
Yeah.
And then they're pulled back into their safe area and given lots of praise and love and treats. And really most of the training takes place in the positive portion of the yard. So they know where it is safe to stay and where they can play freely.
And how big, can this be, is there a limitation? Because
no.
If you've got a pulsar,
yes.
There's got to be some sort of
limitations according to transmitters that will. I'm trying to think of how many. 4,000 linear feet is one of my largest ones, actually, that I know of right now.
4,000. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yes. And so people with a lot of acreage can contain the animal in a huge area. Which is great.
Right.
So, but
I suppose if they see a fox, they might not much care whether there's a collar on them or not.
No, actually. Well, it's funny because I actually purchased the invisible fence about a year ago, which got me very interested in it. I have 3 different types of breed of dogs. But my one golden doodle loves cats. So my neighbor's cat sits literally
go after.
To go after. And then we have a cat of our own, doesn't chase our cat. But the cat will sit 2 feet in front of the line. I kid you not. 2 feet in front, and he'll sit there.
Does one of these things?
I swear. And he sits there and he barks, but he knows he can't go through it. So that's like a testimonial for me.
Yeah, that it works.
Yes, that it does work.
Yeah, and they do. And I know that I have a daughter that has one of these invisible fences or something, or I guess that's what it is. Yeah. And the amazing thing is that they didn't have it turned on, and the dog still did not go beyond those spots.
Well, once they learn their boundary, and that's what it is. It is a set boundary.
They just didn't have it turned on at that point.
Right.
And she looked out and she said, oh my goodness.
You can get away with that.
Yeah.
You can, and it's not a good thing to
No, they don't
practice,
have to do it all the time, yeah.
But they do. When we first got it, we didn't know that my golden doodle could open the front door. And we went out to dinner, and they're in the house, but they have collars on because they can be worn all day long. And we went to Saratoga for dinner. We came back, and all 3 of them were sitting on the front porch. I'm like, oh my goodness. But they had their collars on, but I was like, oh
Open
boy.
the door, they're all
sitting there. I'm like, good thing, because who knows where they would have been.
Oh,
we were gone for 2 hours, thinking that they were safe inside the house. So
I had a black lab that could open the back door. It just took the handle down, pushed it, and went out. It's like, oh my God.
And because they're so smart with that portion of it, they are smart and they do get their boundaries
Yeah.
and they do learn them. So the flags can come down. We say about 1 to 2 months, and they'll take maybe every other one out. But they do pick it up quickly. It's just a great product. It's great.
So it's an alternative to a chain link fence.
Absolutely,
Yeah, really.
absolutely.
We've been talking with Kim Bellizzi to learn about how to keep your dog safe in your backyard or front yard or wherever. And it's really an interesting concept to have an invisible fence. Now, if you could only keep the neighbor kids out of your yard with it, now does that work?
No, not yet. We don't have a patent for that yet.
Kim Bellizzi, if you're more interested in that, you can go to her website to find out more about that.